Good morning, five-star real estate friends. It is Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., which means you are hanging out with your friends on your broker support team. Today, I have Kim Anderson and Doug Hale here with me at the 10,000 Club.
As always, good morning.
Good morning. Once again, working at about a 30-minute increment of time towards those 10,000 hours of becoming a real estate pro. And that's our goal. So good morning. Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about what's your word for 2022. And this is really the brainchild of Kim Anderson today. Thank you, Kim.
Thank
you. As we think about ways to encourage you on your real estate walk, the Ninja 9 or the Ninja 5, right? Larry Kendall, who's the brainchild of the Ninja program that we're big supporters of here at Five Star Real Estate. He puts together a little video that it's basically 5 practical things that you can be doing in your life. And you can sign up for this email that lands in your email every Monday morning. It's about 2 to 3 minutes in length with some practical advice that can aid you in your real estate journey. So today brings us to the one that he did this past week, which was about what's your word? Like, what's the one thing in your life that you need to change or something that you can be doing better, that you literally take a word, put it out in front of you somewhere, define what it is today, and then spend an entire year trying to expand that one word. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
I like it. We have 365 days to take one thing and make it better. Seems kind of simple, right, Doggy?
It does.
Doug, sorry.
You could say Dougie. You could say Dougie. It does seem kind of simple. And, you know, since you guys were talking about Larry Kendall, I'm going to be very vulnerable. I really haven't tuned into any of what these Ninja, even these are what, 2-3 minutes?
Yeah.
There's a lot of information in those. And so I went yesterday and I kind of went through all of those leading up to what you challenged us with, Kim, yesterday was, you know, in our discussion, we were talking about that word. And I started the day with one word. Then the end of the day, I kind of went to another word. And then I'm thinking, man, there's a lot in this. So I got to unpack this a little bit at a time, really understand and, you know, really focus on what's that mean. I started with grow. Doug, how are you going to grow? What are some of those things that you're going to work with? Then I went next to a little more of I guess I'll call it discipline or accountability piece. And again, this was something that you said yesterday, which absolutely, do we all need to be more disciplined? Do we all need to be, and for everybody, the word's different. I mean, it's just different, right?
Yeah.
So last night I'm talking to my wife about this and she said, here's your word, Doug. Like she's picking my goal, right? And she said, balance.
Oh.
Balance. You've got to learn to balance, because to be really effective in your real estate career, that means that there's some other components that have to also line up. I think about my spouse, my biggest cheerleader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Balance. So my word, I'm going to just stick with that word. I'm going to figure that out, what that means with regards to my personal, my spiritual, my work. And I think that's the fruits of that labor are that I'm going to see some really, really different changes in my life moving forward. So again, I'm coming from the heart, you guys, on this versus the head, because it's all about making a difference in terms of the big picture for me. So
right.
Balance is my word.
I love your vulnerability. Sometimes when we do these exercises, you know, we have to be vulnerable, and we're going to be vulnerable with everyone today and share where we're each at, just to help you be able to get there. And so, you know, so here's the thing so far that Doug has said is, hey, I've looked back and said, 2021, it's real simple. What would I have liked to have done better?
Yeah.
Like, what's that one thing? Did I want to eat better? Did I want to exercise better? Well, that's always January 1, right? We're all like ready to go. And do I want to spend more time being present with my wife? Or do I need more balance with my business and my personal life? We all know in real estate, it all goes like this, right?
You got it.
It just goes like this, all 24/7. So I like it. And then we're going to move on to Tracy for a minute while you think. So then the next question would be, all right, where can I start? What's the one thing that I can do differently today that will get me there? Like, we can pick a word of the year. Now it's like breaking it down. What's the one thing that I might be able to do different? Am I going to shut my phone off for an hour during the day while I have lunch with my wife?
Yeah.
Right? What's your thoughts, Tracy?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting what Doug said, and this is fun when you have a conversation together because you learn from each other. But if you can't think of what your word is, right? And I was thinking about it this morning, like, okay, what's my word? And what funny story came out of it, which I'll share in a minute. But what's your word is basically like, if you can't figure out what it is, look at the people around you. Think about who you work with. And if you said to them, hey, is there something that you see in me or the person that you live with? They see more than we allow ourselves to see. So if you struggle with your word, ask some questions to the people around you. I think it could be really eye-opening. But for me, I always say, this is me. I am always running by the seat of my pants in that I can get one more thing done before I head out the door to do something, before I jump on a Zoom, before I put dinner on the table, before I meet a friend, whatever it is. I can just get a few more things done, which always causes me to be beating the clock, okay? Racing the time on my map to get to wherever I have to go. I'm always going 100 miles an hour, like, oh yeah, picked up 2 minutes, But this morning I'm talking to Kim and we needed to have a Zoom call about something. And I said, hey, do you want to do that before the live stream? Once again, trying to jam one more thing in, which would make us ill-prepared for today. So my word is going to be somewhere, and this is a habit of mine that I've had forever. It's just who I am. I'm a taskmaster, like trying to get a lot done. And so, my husband is always one that wants to get to the airport like 2 hours before a flight. And so we'll get there and I'm annoyed that I've had to get up really extra early. I could still be sleeping. Okay. And, we're at the airport. He's like, isn't this great? We're having a cocktail. We're having breakfast. Isn't this wonderful? We're not racing. I'm like, not really. Like I could be sleeping, but he's right. Like there is some kind of order within us that allows us to be in the moment before we're in the moment. So if we're preparing ourselves for where we're going, what we're doing, we're not racing to get there with all this craziness so that when we arrive, we're fully present. Yeah. And so I'm a connector and I always want to be fully present. So I need to allow myself some time to arrive, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So
yeah, what I heard there was maybe, here's what I love about coaching. Is you get to be so curious, right? Because there's no right or wrong answer. So you can really like dive in and find all kinds of things. So when you listen, like I hear Tracy, when you made the statement about your husband, I'm thinking he just wanted time with his wife. Oh, maybe, right? He wanted to get
like
there
to hear
early,
that.
have breakfast, have a cup of coffee. I mean, that's just me being curious. Could that have been, like sometimes people around us are bidding for things, but we are so distracted. When my grandkids come over, they want grandma to play Hungry Hippos. They don't want me checking my phone, right? Yeah. So I think that's always a lesson for all of us is just how to be present. And I'll get to you in a minute. I will say Tracy Johnson is always available. She answers her phone. She's on every text. I know I can always get her. And that's admirable. That's an awesome character trait, right? She's available. She's on task. If you want something done, you call Tracy Johnson. So now she's being vulnerable to say, but maybe I got this going on over here that you can't see, right? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. I like it. Well, mine, I have discovered that I really like being home after COVID. I like my little world with my little projects that I do and my readings and my all the stuff that I do every day. And I Zoom with agents all day. And I said to myself, wow, you really become a loner. You're just really happy being home. And I'll tell you what made me snap was COVID. I had COVID for 10 days. By the end of 10 days, I'm calling Tracy like, hey, I'm losing my mind here. And that's when I realized how much we really need the people around us and we need to be connecting, how we are created to be with others, what some of my goals are with my business. And I have people out there for years I sold to, haven't sent them a Christmas card in 5 years, haven't connected. Well, we all know they're all come to the table. Now, is there an ulterior motive? My motive is to build my business, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've been trying to reconnect with those people. Quick story, make it really fast, is I see my hygienist. I don't think I've told this here. I told to my class. Every 6 months, I see my hygienist, same hygienist for 20 years. I'm sitting in her chair a couple months ago and she goes, oh yeah, my brother-in-law, Aaron, he's coming back from wherever. And yeah, I'll give you a call. I'm like, sure, whatever. Didn't even think anything about it. Next week I get a call. Hey, this is Aaron, blah, blah, blah. Want to find a house. I go, okay. So you never know in this business what's coming, what's going. I've heard Tracy, all of a sudden your phone's just blowing up with listings and you just don't know when the business is going to come. So you have to be ready. So long story short, he happened to be a cash buyer. In 3 weeks, I had a $6,000 check. Oh, right. Nice. So then they invited me over to dinner. My hygienist, her brother-in-law, and my dentist, who's a good friend of mine. Well, I'm thinking it's a date, not a date. I knew they're trying to fix me up. Different story. But I told my dentist friend, please don't do that. But I went because I felt like you need to connect with people. You need to be present. I'd rather be home on a Saturday night in my fuzzy pajamas watching Blue Bloods, right? It's just easy. Yeah. And I went, and so she showed me around her beautiful home, and she goes, and by the way, we're selling in the spring, and this will be your listing. So I started going, wow, you're not even tapping into what's around you, right? Like what's in your hand right here. I think one of the messages are when we first get into the business, if we're a newer agent, or every year agents think they're never going to sell another house in February because they have no pipeline. Like, I think the answer is look right here. What do you have? Like, who's in front of you, right? What do you have in your hand? So that was my long version of my little story is I have decided I need to make an effort to go to those dinners now. 4 days later, I had COVID. I don't know where I got it from, but I was connecting. Let me just tell you.
you were, yeah.
I was connecting. None of them got COVID, so I don't know where I got it from, but I'm doing good. So I'm just saying my word of being vulnerable is I've not been that great at even reaching out to my own agents here. So I made some effort this week to say, hey, what are you doing? Can you have coffee Friday? Let's chat. How can I help you? I've just become very introverted through COVID. And so that's my word of the year, whether it's my clients, my family, our agents, is I really want to connect more.
Yeah, well, that's great.
That's mine.
Great.
So
I love it.
So what's the one step, right? So what is my one step towards that was I called and made 3 appointments this week with people.
I was just going to ask you, so what's the first step? What's the next step?
Yeah. Yep. So I made 3 appointments. I met with 2 of them already. I took my 10 a.m. Tuesday group to live. I am first to admit, I love getting up and having on my pajama pants and a nice dress shirt when I Zoom. It's so easy, right? It's so easy. And so I said, who wants to meet in person? And they all have 4 new agents. They put their hands up.
Yeah.
So 10 a.m. I was in person. It was easier to just stay home and do my thing because I'm comfortable with it. But they were so thrilled. Can we meet next week? Right. So that's my one thing. And then I have another group tomorrow. I met with somebody yesterday. So I made three appointments. I'm still a little fatigued, but I need to stick with that. So that's my commitment to 2022 is family, friends, agents, business. I need to reconnect because I'm pretty happy staying home doing my thing.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
That's great. No, I love it. And like we all talked about, I think every one of us has a different word. I mean, this is something that this is very personal. So you really have to kind of define for yourself, what's that got to look like? I keep using this word balance. Now I can't get balance out of my mind. But the first step for me is exactly what I tell my agents when they first get into this business. Work from a schedule, right? Mm-hmm. How many agents don't work from a schedule? And then they say, well, gosh, I'm working 24 hours a day. I got no time for anything else. You can tell that we don't even have time to go on vacation because I'm always working. Well, it's because you're not scheduling that. And I know we have to be flexible in this business. We work around people's schedules, their work schedules, when they can meet, those kind of things too. But to be very intentional about scheduling that, I'm kind of one of those guys now that look at the end of the day And then I look back at the day and say, okay, how did I do today? Did I stick on my schedule? Was I involved in money-making activities today, or did I waste a bunch of time? So Tracy, that would drive you nuts, right? I wasted all this time. Why should I be doing something?
Get one more thing done.
Yeah, it's
I'm like, last night she's emailing at 10:35 and she's answered me again at 6 a.m. I'm like, I don't go, do you
kidding
sleep?
me? When do you sleep? Right.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So that whole next step for me is be the doctor and schedule and do it every day. It's going to become a habit. It helps everything that you're trying to do, your personal life, your work life, all of those things. So,
well, I think you have to think of it this way. I like to think of it this way. I think this is a ninja thing. What you focus on expands.
Love that.
Okay. So if you have a word and you focus on this one word and you have the idea that you can transform something in 1 year, if you want to lose weight, if you focus on that one thing, what you focus on expands. If you have a cluttered house and you want to focus on organization, focus on it for 1 year. If you are really bad at managing your finances, focus on it for 1 year. If you don't read a lot, you don't spend a lot. Greg always says, invest in yourself, pay attention, read, be a reader. If you invest in yourself from a real estate perspective and you want to expand your knowledge, then spend time with it, make it your one word. What we focus on can change. So figure out how to expand on your one word, define what it is, write it down, put it in crazy places that you can't miss it. I love a Post-it note, next to your fuel gauge, on your mirror, in your bathroom, in your wallet. When you open it, it's a reminder of whatever that one thing is. Like, you can't get away from it. It's like, but I think it can be transforming. It is, because what we focus on does expand. If you love TV, guess what? You spend a lot of time doing it. If you love reading, you spend a lot of time doing it. But your knowledge can expand based on what you focus on. So,
yeah, I love that. That's good. And I think one thing that I hear with agents, I think it's always our challenge is follow-up. So maybe you're not a good follow-up person. I've done a little test here, and I have somebody from Pelican Wise, and I don't block him because I want to see how many times will you contact me about that postcard sitting in my cart. And I'm impressed. I mean, am I going to go buy it? Obviously, I'm handwriting my postcards, but follow-up, I'm like, give him credit, because he is like, his last one was like, I don't really want to bug you, but
however,
whatever. So here's David from Pelican Wise. And I'm just thinking I could be better at following up with people, like where you're at. Some of the listings I had this year, I've been in touch with for 3 years. Yeah. Hey, market's awesome. You think about selling, took 3 years to get a $200 sale.
And they're saying the same thing about you. That Kim, she's a rock star. She follows up. It's been 3 years. She's persistent. So that, and that translates into your business. I want to work with Kim. She's amazing at follow-up. So
some of them will finally say to me, Kim, I promise if I sell, I'll call you. But know what I know? Right. If I get out of flow, if I'm not top of mind, they're calling you.
Yep.
See, I mean, I always tell agents, I love the cheap magnets. I used to send out the yearly calendar. Now I changed it to just notes. It has the little peel on business card. And because I didn't stay in touch with my sphere many times and I moved companies, how'd you find me? And they go, the magnet. It's $1.15 each or something, right? Give them out in your listing packets. If you don't, I don't use 300. So I went to notes because the calendars ran out. And so, however, to stay top of mind, but we know Ninja is people do business with those they know, like, trust, and I've added and are in flow with. Yeah. And that's where I'm thinking, I'm leaving money on the table with the people I know. They're going to call somebody. It might as well be me, right?
Yep.
So this is a great topic. Anything else? Any other points?
No, I think we just need to be able to recognize and acknowledge our weaknesses, be able to identify our word, and be willing to move forward and make a commitment to something for 1 year. So
it'll be interesting to hear some of the results, some of the choices. If you want to be accountable, email any one of us, any of the support team, and say, hey, I watched the podcast today, and this is my word to you. And I want you to ask me about it once a week, or I want you to ask me about it once a month, or we're here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I'm
great.
going to be asking Tracy, so how present you been? How many tasks did you throw in?
Right. How many minutes early did you arrive to somewhere?
Yeah. And Doug, we're going to be asking about balance. And I hope you'll be asking me about, am I still in my fuzzies at home, or am I getting myself dressed and go and connect with some people?
There you go. There you go.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to take, go ahead, Tracy.
I was just going to say, we're going to see you in the new year.
Yes.
You'll see some of our, Emma's going to post some of our previous live streams that we've done together, but we'll just wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see you in 2022. If you need us, call Doug, call Kim, call myself, call Marissa, or call Cindy. We're here for you to win. So Merry Christmas.
Yes. And one last thing, yesterday we posted this podcast by Ninja. So if you want to go watch the word of the year, that's there as well. So everybody, we'll be talking soon, but I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Don't get blown away by the wind today. And I have unpacked packages all over me here. And before this day's over, they're going to be wrapped.
Yay.
I have a Christmas Eve baby as well. So I have double for my little Lennox. So I got lots to do today. So.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. All right.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. See ya.
See you. Bye.